Okay, the long-awaited part two. Okay, sorry it has taken me so long to do this video. I started it off when I started my channel, and then I went a different direction with my channel and did some other types of videos, and that has like kind of turned into that. So that's why I'm releasing this on my newer channel, so that it doesn't kind of interfere with that. It might throw the algorithm off and like all this weirdness. So anyway, so part two, a year and a half or 2 years later. All right. So by now you've probably lost the Scorpio. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. So part two, I had promised would be more about like the physical side of things, right? The next level. All right. So you've had the dates and that sort of thing. So now we're talking more about the physical connection with a Scorpio. So, let's see. I'll probably do this very similar to the first video, do's and don'ts. Basically, again, too, I want to preface, I mean, yes, I am a Scorpio female. However, I do not profess to speak for all Scorpio females. So I'm sure that, I mean, I am only going by my experience, okay, and a couple friends of mine or people that I have known Scorpio females in the past, all right, and like, you know, there is a big difference. Every Scorpio female I have known in my life, I really like, we've all been so very different. So that's the thing. So this advice may be good. I don't know. I would imagine, though, there are like a couple things that are going to be pretty similar. So any Scorpio females watching this video, please feel free, you know, to counteract what I say, like, whoa, no, you know, I'm not like that at all, or add things that you feel are appropriate and that kind of deal. So, okay. So do's. Or do I want to start with don'ts? Let's start with don'ts, okay? Confidence is key, okay? It's going to be a lot of the same stuff that was in the first video, okay? Except for, like, we'll actually talk about the actual act and things like that. So, pretty much, you know, confidence is key. So don't be insecure. Don't be guarded. Don't be wishy-washy in any way. Know what you want, see what you want. You're gonna, you know, you in your head, you're going to get what you want. Now, not I shouldn't say it like that, because that sounds kind of, guys might take that the wrong way. Like, oh, I'm gonna get what I want. But, you know, that kind of attitude, I think hopefully you guys are mature enough to understand what I'm saying by that. That doesn't mean, like, no matter what, you get what you want. But having that type of attitude, right? Like, setting your sights on Scorpio, and that's what you want, that's what you're going to get, you know, kind of thing. So I think that is important. You don't want to be wishy-washy about things. The other thing is, you do not want to be involved in a relationship and pursue a Scorpio as your side thing, okay? That will be a big nightmare for you, from what I have seen. Again, I haven't been in that position, so like I've never been in one of those messy third-party types of things. So I don't know from experience, you know, from my point of view, but from my friend's point of view, wow, I pity the fool, okay? Because Scorpio females, I mean, some that I have known, they can be like really, wow, they can be a whole lot. And again, I don't mean to tick off any Scorpio females out there, because this is not all, I can't preface that enough, not all Scorpio females, but I have known a couple who have been in those types of positions, and man, they don't leave that guy alone. Yeah, it's like a lot of possessiveness going on there, a lot of jealousy going on there, a lot of drama going on there. So it's like, if you are in a relationship and you want to just test the waters with a Scorpio, I suggest just skipping it, okay? Because it's not good for them at all, because Scorpios are loyal. by nature, like that is their nature, is loyalty. Okay. And that doesn't mean a Scorpio won't get involved in a third party situation, but they're not going to be happy at all. And they're probably going to make your life pretty miserable to boot. Not to mention you're making their life miserable because that is not their natural nature. Okay. So there's that situation. So that just take that off the table right here. So let's just talk about, a good, a good scenario, a good situation. All right. So, let's see, where was I going with that? Okay, so that's a don't. Okay, the first don't was, don't be wishy-washy, don't be insecure, none of those things. Don't be already involved in a relationship. Okay, make sure that you are available. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to go through with everything, but at least be available. All right. And that's with anything, really, not just Scorpio women. But I'm saying for your own good, too, because seriously, they can be, I've seen some Scorpios, like, kind of, like, go off, and you don't want that, all right? Let's see, don't. Okay, there's some other don'ts later, so let's just talk about some do's. Okay, confidence, obviously. So if it's, don't be insecure, then it's do be confident. One of the things I would like to touch on that with, too, Scorpio females, I think, for the most part from what I see, are one of the only signs that they are very open to a broad range of people, okay? So, like, ageism, like that's not an issue. Younger, older, looks, handsome, not handsome, I'll be a little whatever here, like if you're not well endowed or you are, it's like a lot of those things I'm not saying they don't matter at all, but they're not like, that's not what Scorpio is going to focus on. Okay. So if you're like insecure, maybe, we'll just be frank. I mean, maybe, if you're not the most well endowed, person, or, you're not really classically good looking, or you don't have the bodybuilder body or what have you. It's like, as long as you have confidence, you're good. All right. That's what I'm saying. It's like I find Scorpio females tend to, and that doesn't mean like they can't appreciate like a good looking person or any of that. I mean, cause we're all human and all of that, but I see more often than not, Scorpio females are not particularly faceted on like a certain type. Okay, they might be in personality wise, but as far as like body types or physical things and things, they usually don't have like a specific type. Okay, so don't let things like that stop you. Again, that's where confidence comes into play. Okay, so do be confident. Let's see. Do make your move. Okay, so that's the other thing. Let's just say, let's just do a common scenario because, sure, there could be all these like really interesting scenarios, but let's just take something that's going to be more common. It would be like the sitting on the sofa thing. Okay, so first of all, that's one thing to realize. Like if they're sitting on your sofa, they're probably interested. Well, not probably. They are. They wouldn't even make it to the sofa, okay, if they were not interested. Because a Scorpio will not, they're not weak. They're in some kind of ways they are, but I don't want to go like just and do the entire psychological makeup of a Scorpio. But as far as like, there's other signs that I notice, like female signs, who they're a little, they'll cave under pressure, and they're that type. A Scorpio is not that type. All right. So like if they're sitting on your sofa, or like if they've invited you up, even better yet, if they've invited you up, to their house or their apartment or whatever, and you're sitting on their sofa, they're interested. Okay. Now, obviously, too, I don't want to, because there's going to be different circumstances. I don't, and that's if it's dating, okay? Like if it's a business thing or something like that, no, that doesn't necessarily mean, oh my God, take your move because, she wants you, okay? So I'm saying if you guys are dating and they're on your sofa, they're interested. They wouldn't be there, okay? So if they're there, you don't need to feel insecure about making your move. So let's say, like, for example, they're sitting, maybe there's like a distance in between you, a foot or a foot and a half or something in between you guys on the sofa. Maybe you're watching, well, don't watch TV. Yeah, don't, oh my God, that, all right. I'm going to backtrack a lot and probably jump around a lot. But do not have the television on, okay? That's just like huge buzzkill, all right? No, go with music, all right? And pick music wisely. Try to find out ahead of time kind of what the genre is that you're working with. I'm not saying you have to like do everything to please Scorpio, because maybe it's the kind of music you don't like or something. But even if you can kind of figure out sort of what their musical tastes or genre are, and then maybe take yours and find something that meets in the middle kind of thing. What you don't want like cheesy like slow jams on, because that's too obvious, okay? There is something about subtlety with a Scorpio, so you don't want like Barry White on, okay? That's like way too obvious, okay? So, and you don't want anything too, like light and fluffy either, all right? You're looking for something deep. You're looking for like the minors. Like, I don't know if you know anything about music, but like minors, like the key, that key, like that's what you're looking for. So like a good example would be, and again, I don't know if this is their taste or whatever, but just use this as a reference point, but something like The National. All right, there's a band called The National. So that would be around kind of the area you want to stay in. It's pretty non-defining type of music. But it's got deeper type tones and sounds. It's a deep voice, the singer, but not like, it's not like overly over the top romantic or things like that. It's got like a little bit of a melancholy vibe, but it's still seductive. Okay, so like that's the kind of thing you want to kind of have going on in the background. No TV. No. All right. Okay, so you guys are sitting there, there's a little space or something. So the one thing you do not want to do, and we covered this in the first video, is ask anything. Oh, okay, I thought my camera just glitched. So you do not want to ask, like, oh, can I scoot over closer to you? Or even, like, or don't, like, why don't you come over here? None of that. It's like, just do it, all right? Just move in. Grab them up, put your arm around them, whatever, that kind of thing. If they're not interested, they'll be like, whoa, they'll say something. Okay, so, and then, when all's good. But chances are, again, they're on your sofa, they're interested. So just make your move. Don't try to get them to come to you. Don't try to ask them if it's okay if you come to them. Just make your move, all right? Because you want to keep the power, the that kind of thing even. All right, with a Scorpio, because if a Scorpio sees that you are weak, then they've already made up their mind. They have the control of this relationship already. I'm just gonna be honest, because that is one thing about the Scorpios is, that is pretty a broad generalization that I do find though to be fairly accurate is control. So it's like, unless it's a higher Scorpio you're dealing with who is aware of that factor, okay, and strives very hard for balance with those things, but that's a whole different story. But if you're just dealing with an average type of Scorpio, it's like the second like you give away your power, they are in control the whole relationship. All right, so you do not want to give away, and that doesn't mean that you have to control them either. That's why I'm saying it needs to be even. That's why you don't ask for them to come to you, and why you don't ask to come to them. You just do. Okay, so just reach over, pull them in, that kind of deal. Now, obviously, you're gonna like maybe make out a little bit or something like that. You do not have to do the same old thing. You do not have to like grab their hand and make that walk into the bedroom. All right. A Scorpio is very comfortable in like weird scenario, and not that a sofa is that weird, but I'm just saying they're very comfortable with different areas of places. You know, in fact, that's for me. I don't know. I can't speak for all Scorpios again, but to me, like a bed is for sleeping. So it's like I don't get very excited when I see a bed. Like I'm like, oh, you know, it's like, but like the sofa or like the floor or like a chair or or in the ground and leaves and dirt, and whatever, that's fine. But and I'm not saying like you can never do that in the because I'm that's fine. Of course, things are going to happen in a bedroom. That's just natural. That's the way things work. But I'm saying for you don't have to do that. You can just keep rolling with things. If it's going well on the sofa, keep it on the sofa. And I understand there's a certain amount of comfort, for some people, especially as, we get older. I don't know what age range, is looking at this, but I'm just saying you don't have to do that. It's probably fine if you do. That's cool too. If you're more comfortable with that, it's not like a deal breaker or anything. I'm just saying if the opportunity arises, go for it. It's fine. One key thing I will say about that too, for the very first engagement of this, okay, is like you do not want to razzle dazzle like them, okay, because that's the thing too. I think there's this misconception or conception or what have you, like about Scorpios that and the sexuality prowess and they're such sexual beings and they're this and they're that can probably intimidate someone into thinking that they have to be this like amazing sex god or something to appease the Scorpio prowess of sexuality, so that's not true. Okay. In fact, like razzle dazzly like fancy thing that's no, sure, down the road if you want to be all inventive and creative, excellent, go for it. But the first time, keep it simple. I will say, like, mostly, I would highly suggest just plain old missionary positioning. Okay. Here's a don't. Okay. Here's a big don't. Is what you do not want to do is, and this would probably be if you are an earth sign male, all right, heed this warning, okay, because that's who I have seen that behavior in, and no, that does not fly. Earth sign males tend to be very aggressive, in the way that they handle women, and also not very, it's like it's more of physical, like raw, type passion with them rather than connection. So, it's like, which there is a place for that with a Scorpio and a Scorpio. I'm not saying a Scorpio cannot be attracted to an earth sign male. They absolutely can. But ultimately it's like connection that is going to like reel in a Scorpio for like a longer, type of period. So do not try to have I'm trying I guess I just gotta say it, like don't try to do something like from behind, and I'm not talking about the biggie, I mean I like that position, like where the female is in front and the guy is in back or something like no. Again, like if it's a random hookup kind of thing or something like that, that's a whole different scenario and story. But like if you are interested in this Scorpio and you want a relationship or you want to see where this goes and you're feeling very attracted, do not do that. That's no. So I would stick with just plain missionary position, okay, for the first time. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that the entire, grasp of the relationship or anything, but it is the sealer. It's going to seal it, because if you are on top and even if you're not eye to eye, it's still like the heart chakra to the heart chakra. It's the enveloping, that is going to like like free them and that sort of thing. And you too. I'm not saying it's all for them, because it's going to be that way for you too, trust me. Because it's like if they are feeling it, if they are in their element and they have that closeness, then you're going to naturally feed off of their energy too, and it's going to work. All right, that's the way to go. You do not want to do some kind of weird ass position in the first thing. All right, so that's a big don't. Let's see. Okay, so like seduction is huge, but you can have fun and kind of like, so it doesn't have to always be this like big production or something like that. I mean, it's okay, like if because sometimes like stupid things happen, somebody can't find something or whatever, there's going to be like things like that. It's okay, that's fine. It doesn't mean like, oh God, now they can roll with that. All right, Scorpios are very comfortable in their sexuality in that way. Okay, so like they can joke around, they can do things too. Just I wouldn't make the whole thing that way, because then that kind of sets up the relationship that way too. So you at some point you do want to bring it back to seduction. So if there's some funny things or there's some like goofy things or accidental things that happen, that's fine. Just always bring it back around to seduction again. Okay, and let's see, what else would I say about that? I think that's about it, really. Again, like, don't, just because I said that about that position, down the road, like, Scorpios are one of the more, willing to try lots of things types of signs, and genuinely, like I said, there's a lot of different signs out there they're just, they are sacrificial. Like they'll just do things because they think they need to, because they're scared you won't like them if they don't, and things like that. There's a few signs like that. But Scorpio women again are not like that. So they're open to different things. So like, if you're a little bit of a kink or you're a little bit of a this or a little bit of a that, they're open to that. Or let's cover this too, because if there's like problems, all right, we'll cover that too. Like if there's, if you're male, I don't know, some females may be watching this too, so I don't know, but I'm talking about males. Like if there's like maybe some issues with the equipment or something like that. Again, Scorpios, they are, it's the soul connection more than it is. And I'm not saying that's not important to them, because I mean sexuality is like, obviously, I mean we're the sign known for that. But if there are problems or things like that aren't, like I said, maybe you're not that well endowed, or maybe there's like issues with the equipment, doesn't work all the time, things like that. Scorpios are very open to finding different things. Okay, so, and I was in a relationship with someone for a very long period of time and there were there were issues, but it was also a very fulfilling relationship, in many ways. So you can do all kinds of different things, like tantric type. Well, I hate using the word tantric because that's not really what it means, but that's the way you guys, most people, and I don't mean like you guys, but most people are going to be familiar with things like tantric breathing, they call it, and stuff like that. I mean, real tantra is not that. It's not guys sitting around in yoga pants and prayer beads and women with flowy hair, tantric breathing. That's not what tantra it really is, but that's what we're familiar with it, so we'll go with that. So like there's all kinds of different things that you can do. Now the weird part about that is it's Scorpios aren't really into foreplay. That's another thing. Doesn't mean like they don't like it or they won't do it or they won't participate or anything like that. But what I mean is I think it's like it's not super necessary. So so you don't need to like work up a Scorpio female. Okay, it's like they're good, they're ready to go. All right, so it's like you don't have to do like a bunch of pre-work or anything like that, and generally they don't really want to do a lot of that either. All right, so it's like they kind of just like the act itself. Okay, so if that is off the table at times or all the time or whatever, then there is still other ways that you can do a lot of things, and it's not, like I said, it's not a deal breaker. So it's just, but you do have to be still confident. Okay, and I know that's hard, when maybe dealing with some issues like that, but it's still important to come off as confident, creative imagination, telling a Scorpio like a really interesting story and talking to them, and like a voice that's really, going to get their attention. You know what I'm saying? Kind of sexy, and making up some kind of sexy story, and saying it aloud. Like doing more, like I said, tantric type close breathing exercises there's, I think I mentioned it maybe in the first video, I'm not sure. Montauk Chia books are I highly recommend them if you are in a relationship with a Scorpio female. They are extremely powerful for males, extremely. So there's different breathing exercises and techniques that are taught that I can speak from experience that you don't always have to have something there to really feel I'm sorry, I'm shy with words, but I think you get where I'm going. So don't let that be a factor either. Down the road, like I said, let's say there are no problems, everything's great, and everybody's equipment works, and all of that sort of thing. I was saying, they are open to certain things. So not everything in the world, but there's a stigmatism about Scorpios that they're all S&M freaks and all of that. That's not really true. I mean, there is a fascination with it, of course, because it does deal with issues of control and submission. So there's always a fascination with it with Scorpios, but it doesn't mean that you have to throw your Scorpio in handcuffs and have switches and all that kind of stuff. That's you can mess around with that kind of stuff. They'll probably be open to it, but again, the whole underlying of all of these things, okay, no matter what they are, is connection. So if the soul connection is there, the equal mutual respect is there. That's huge for any relationship. It doesn't matter what sign you are, but if there's mutual respect for each other, that's going to take you everywhere you want to go. Okay, really. I mean, that's kind of the bottom line. So that's what I have. I can't think of anything else in particular. The foreplay thing, I touched on that a little bit, and I don't know. So leave in the comment, if you're a Scorpio female and you're like, what? Don't tell them that. That's not true. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I don't know. I've never that. That's never been necessary. It's not one of those things that I've felt is really that important. And then also the other thing too is cuddling and I don't know if this is for all, but after initially sleeping with someone and things like that, sure, there's this closeness, there's this this beautiful feeling and things, but I gotta say I'm kind of and I don't know, again, if this is all Scorpio women or not, I'm not sure, but I'm not one of those that needs to be cuddled after, or honestly, I just want to usually usually I do that all the time. Okay, I think I did that once. No, I'm just kidding. Get up and I want to go home. If I'm at their house, it's I want to just be in my own bed, or I want to or if you guys are together, I want to get up and go do stuff. It's I don't care about cuddling. It's I don't know. I don't think that many Scorpio women are insecure in that way. Again, maybe that's just me. I'm not sure, but I don't think it's super necessary. So if you're at their place and you've had this, I don't think it's a deal breaker if you want to get up and go home. But I would say, I would, definitely express why you are doing that. I not in like a mysterious way or something like, I got to be home by midnight, because then they might start thinking you're with somebody else or whatever. So, I would just say, wow, this is fantastic, and but I do, I gotta, maybe you have a cat at home you gotta go feed, or I'd really feel comfortable in my own bed. Is that cool with you? And that just kind of test the waters there. I imagine some, women, just like any women, can be clingy and needy, and maybe that won't fly. I don't know. But for me, it's never been a big deal. So I'm just guessing that might be the same for a lot of Scorpios. So don't worry about that. And that doesn't mean we can't be like have intimacy or something, but it's not like a clingy thing. Like, I don't know. I've never been like that. I'm not clingy. I'm not needy. In that way, maybe others are. The only time I've ever seen Scorpio friends of mine, because I don't know how, I'm not around when they're having sex with it, I don't know what goes on, but I do know from conversations and things, the only time I've seen them clingy and needy are when they are, like I said, in that scenario where you have someone else. And then like that is like, I've seen that go very badly. So, yeah. Anyway, so I don't think I have any other things for you. Just confidence and no razzle dazzle right away, and it's not a porno. Okay, that's not gonna work. It's seduction and connection is what it's about. So, all right, I think I got all. If there was anything I missed or something I started and didn't finish or something or something like that, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to address it. So, all right, thanks guys, bye.